you're an Asian American writer. You're also just a writer, a talented
Hmm.
writer. And have you found, in this now initial experience of writing a novel and getting to be in conversation with the world with it, have you found yourself, because of the fact of who you are, having
Hmm.
your identity in some way narrowed, or people kind of assuming, oh, this is Asian literature, as opposed to it just being
Mm,
literature?
yeah. It's so hard for me to say what is a chicken and what is the egg. It's like, is this Asian American literature because I wrote about an Asian American character, or is it Asian American literature because that's who I am as an author? I will tell a story though. So when I first thought of writing the social climbing, narrative, I was living in Greenpoint at the time, which is a very Polish neighborhood in Brooklyn. And I
Hmm.
was really inspired by that. And so I thought, I'm going to write about a Polish girl. And also, one of my favorite books is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. So I thought, I'm going to write about a Polish girl who lives in Greenpoint. And
Uh-huh.
as I was doing that, I realized I knew nothing about being a Polish girl in Brooklyn. And I'm a very lazy researcher. So, of course, I, could have gone down that path and probably written a very, accurate description of all that. But I thought, if I'm just still trying to write the outsider perspective, I can just draw on my own experiences. So I made
Mhm.
my character Chinese American, which in retrospect seems so obvious.
Mhm.
But at that time, it wasn't obvious. I thought, oh,
Oh,
like, I guess
wow.
it really
Uh-huh.
wasn't. I
Huh.
thought, because I also did not read that many books by Asian American authors. So to me, I thought, oh, yeah, Greenpoint, Polish girl,
Mhm.
makes sense. And then when I decided to make her Chinese American, I thought, oh, is this going to be too, like, are people going to think this is too autobiographical?
Mhm.
So there was that decision point. And only looking back do I think, oh, it's it feels obvious that I should have drawn on my own experiences, et cetera, et
Mm.
cetera. But
Mhm.
with that said, I don't think that Asian American writers should need to be pigeonholed in that. You can
Right.
write wherever and set it in wherever, but
Mhm.
it's tough because I do subscribe to the idea that you should write what only you can write.
Mhm.
Not write what you know, but what is something that you really want to say that nobody else could really say? And so much of that comes from our background and our childhood. And so it's really hard to separate the two, the stories that we write versus who we are as people.